I died the 5th year of my marriage while my wife was spending her birthday with her first love. When the doctor called to inform her of my death, she thought it was a hoax. She said, "He can die if he wants to, and he'll have to divorce me even if he dies." When she saw my lifeless body, she broke down in tears, crying, "Wesley, I'm sorry. I was wrong, but it was too late." I would never come back to hear her apologies. 3 years of marriage to Tessa Shane, followed by 2 years of separation. Her globetrotting with Kenneth Lee made me the laughing stock of our social circle. A month ago, we met for the last time. I told her I wasn't well, hoping she'd stay. Instead, she rushed in, tossed divorce papers at me, and left, saying coldly, "Next time we meet, I hope it's because you've agreed to divorce." Now I'm in a hospital bed, the pain eating away at me. The pain is unbearable. The doctor holds a phone to my ear, pleading for someone to answer. I listen to the cold ringtone, despair growing with each unanswered ring. "Please, pick up," the doctor begs, voice cracking. Palms sweaty. I just want to tell Tessa I'll sign the papers, but I know it's hopeless. She's probably blocked my number long ago. Staring at the bland ceiling, I feel the last of my hope fade. I give up, knowing she'll never come. The heart monitor flatlines with a long beep. Silent tears roll down my cheeks. Tessa will probably be relieved when she hears I'm gone. I drift awake, finding myself back in the home I once shared with Tessa. There she was, the woman I'd longed for, mindlessly scrolling through her phone on the sofa. Instinctively, I called out, "Tessa." No response. I stepped closer, only to pass right through her. The chilling realization hit me. I was dead, yet somehow still here. Joy or sorrow? I couldn't decide. "Tessa, this place is covered in dust. How long has Wesley been neglecting it?" A sickeningly sweet voice cut through the air. Kenneth, looking impeccable, surveyed the room with distaste. Tessa rubbed her temples before pulling Kenneth into an embrace. "He's avoiding me. Don't worry. I'll divorce him soon." Kenneth nestled into her arms, smiling coyly. My heart ached watching my wife so casually hold another man in our home. They kissed shamelessly beneath our wedding photo, still hanging on the wall like a silent accusation. I wanted to flee but found myself tethered to Tessa, despair growing with each moment. As they fell onto the sofa, entangled, Tessa whispered, "Happy birthday, Kenneth." So that was it. His birthday celebration on the day of my death. Tessa and I grew up together with Kenneth as our neighbor's little boy. Despite the bad blood between our families at the time, my mom and Tessa's were buddies. My mother even saved her life once, which threw us a curveball when my family hit rock bottom. We moved away, and Tessa and I drifted apart. Then came the double whammy. Mom died in a car crash, and Dad landed in the hospital. Desperate times called for desperate measures, so I ended up with the Shanes. Tessa's mom played matchmaker, and before I knew it, I became Mr. Shane. For a while, we were blissfully happy. I poured my heart into being the perfect husband. Tessa opened up, admitting marrying me was her dream come true. She'd hug me from behind while I cooked, whisper my name during intimate moments. It was everything I'd ever wanted. Then Kenneth breezed back from college abroad, and our world tilted on its axis. He bulldozed his way into our lives. Tessa resisted at first, but a kidnapping changed everything. When the kidnappers used both Kenneth and me as leverage, my terror was a stark contrast to his cool bravery. Watching Tessa rush to his side, I swear I heard my heart crack. "This is payback for what you owe Kenneth," she said before camping out by his hospital bed. Soon, she was sneaking off with him. I'd never seen her so carefree, like a teenager again, living it up with Kenneth. I confronted her, tears streaming, desperate not to lose her. Her response? Anger and accusations of overthinking. That day marked the beginning of the end. Soon, she stopped hiding her feelings for Kenneth and asked for a divorce. My love for her was bone deep, maybe fueled by stubbornness. I clung to our fractured marriage like a lifeline. Only now do I see how spectacularly wrong I was. The sofa creaked with hushed gasps. I watched Tessa's sort of hands glide over Kenneth's bare shoulders, bile twisting my gut. Closing my eyes, I retreated, my heart too numb to break again. A shrill ring cut through their moment. Tessa answered, annoyance etched on her face. "Mrs. Shane, City Hospital here. Your husband, Wesley Lee, succumbed to cancer at 10 a.m. We need you to come collect his remains." "What?" Tessa's grip tightened on the phone, sparking a foolish hope in me. Wouldn't my death affect her at all? The doctor repeated himself. Tessa's frown deepened. Her voice sharp. "Another trick. Don't team up with Wesley to con me. He'd cash in on the divorce, but this game gets him nothing." I heard the doctor's stunned pause, clearly blindsided. "Mrs. Shane, please. Wesley is really gone." Despite the doctor's insistence, Tessa refused to believe. Her final words chilled me to the bone. "Fine. Tell Wesley if he wants to play dead, let him. Saves me the divorce papers." When a doctor called to inform her of my death, she thought it was a hoax. The line went dead, plunging the room into silence. Kenneth, who'd overheard everything, avoided eye contact, clearly hiding something. Still, he draped his arms around Tessa's neck and murmured, "Wesley's getting crafty. First, the cancer excuse to bring you home, then those frantic calls, and now faking his own death. You're not buying it, right? Tessa's thoughts evaporated as she processed Kenneth's words. Stroking his hair gently, she replied, "Of course not. He's playing with fire, using lies like that." Invisible and heartbroken, I hovered above them. I'd never lied to Tessa. She just refused to believe me. If loving her meant death, so be it. Tessa stared at our wedding photo, her forehead creased in thought. Finally, she sighed, "How did he change so much? He used to be kind and genuine." She dialed my number repeatedly, met only with silence. With each unanswered call, her conviction grew, clearly assuming I was dodging the divorce. Her patience wore thin. She looked ready to have me dragged back to sign the papers. Kenneth, oddly enough, was the voice of reason. "Tessa, we need to make Wesley face his mistakes. His sick father in the hospital, that's his weak spot. Cut off the medical payments, and he'll come crawling back to apologize." I stared in disbelief at Kenneth's cruelty. Watching the conflict in Tessa's eyes, I prayed she would remember our years together and not act so ruthlessly. "Tessa, Mr. Lowe's been in treatment for so long. A day or two won't make a difference," Kenneth persisted. I couldn't understand why he hated me so much that he'd even target my father. But what happened next plunged me into despair. After a moment's contemplation, Tessa locked eyes with Kenneth and said, "You're right. It's time he learned his lesson." Without hesitation, she called the hospital and cut off my father's medical funding. I watched in horror, falling to my knees begging, but she couldn't see or hear me, blind to my tears and deaf to my pleas. Panic and despair consumed my soul. My father had recently been in critical condition, barely pulled back from the brink. He needed proper care now more than ever, but Tessa had never paid attention to these details, seemingly bewitched by Kenneth. I had stayed with Tessa not just out of love, but because the Shane family covered the steep medical bills. I couldn't risk losing that. But their actions now hurt more than death itself, breeding hatred in my heart. In our youth, the Lowe and Shane families were close. My father had treated Tessa like his own daughter. How could she be so heartless now? Satisfied with the outcome, Kenneth's smile grew smugger as he coaxed Tessa into my bedroom. When she wasn't looking, he even removed our wedding photo from the living room while tossing it into the storage room. But none of that mattered to me anymore. My mind raced, consumed with worry for my father's safety. I watched Tessa and Kenneth's blissful moment feeling none. Even in death, the pain in my soul left me restless. Tessa seemed to have forgotten about me and my critically ill father entirely, lost in her romance with Kenneth as they shopped for wedding dresses. At the Shane Group's bridal shop, the staff eagerly greeted Tessa. "Madam President, choosing a gown for your husband? We haven't seen him in a while. How's his health?" I smiled bitterly. Even this stranger knew about my illness, while my wife thought I was lying. The irony was painful. Everyone knew who husband meant, and Kenneth's face darkened. Before he could react, Tessa frowned. "Did Wesley put you up to this?" she asked the confused assistant, cutting her off before she could respond. "Whatever trick he's using, remember who really runs Shane Group." She stormed out, dragging Kenneth along. My heart ached, though I was already numb to the pain. I felt worthless. But with my father in the hospital, I had no choice but to endure. As they approached another store, Tessa's phone rang. She brightened, probably hoping I was calling to apologize. Seeing it was her mother, she looked disappointed. She answered, and Linda Shane's angry voice rang through. "Tessa, what's going on?" "The doctor says you've cut off Wesley's father's medical funding," Tessa chuckled unconcerned. "So what? How long will you hold that old debt over me? Isn't marrying his son enough? What, burden me for life?" I stood there, stunned, as if I'd never known this woman. Linda's voice grew more furious. "You monster. Wesley's father is critical. Get to the hospital now." Tessa finally grasped the gravity of the situation and rushed to the hospital. I followed, my heart racing. At the hospital, Linda unleashed her fury on Tessa, berating her harshly. Kenneth's attempts to defend her were swiftly shut down. "Where's Wesley?" Linda demanded, clearly unable to reach me and visibly irritated by Kenneth's presence. Tessa sneered, "Wesley? He's the ungrateful one. Abandoning his own father to avoid our divorce." I didn't. My soul cried out in vain, racked with an indescribable pain. Why was I still tethered to this world? As Linda raised her hand to slap Tessa, a young doctor burst in. "Are you Wesley's family?" he asked. Tessa nodded, confused. "Mr. Lowe passed away from cancer yesterday morning. We need his family to claim the body," the doctor explained solemnly. Tessa's breath hitched, but her voice remained cold. "Impossible. I saw him a month ago. Stop this charade and bring Wesley out now, or you'll regret it." Tessa's threat fell flat. My death was irrefutable. The doctor, now visibly annoyed, replied, "If you don't believe me, ma'am, his body is in a morgue downstairs." A tense silence filled the corridor. Tessa's composure finally cracked. Abruptly, she released Kenneth's hand and bolted downstairs.